Okay then everybody, welcome to another Leicester Lives podcast in association with Igloo Staffing Solutions. As always, if you enjoy the podcast, do not forget to subscribe. Now, I've got him back today, King of the Doormen, Johnny Strong. We're here for part two. John, thanks very much for coming along today, being a guest on the Leicester Lives podcast.
Yeah, thanks, Matt.
Now, John, last time we were talking about the story with the craze and we never actually quite got around to finishing it. We lost a little bit with the edit. So I'm just going to finish that story first of all. We were talking about Eric Beaton's club. The car's pulled up. The minders are in the car. They're after Eric. Just pick up the story from there.
Well, basically, they come down for the club. I think they wanted both because they had the ambassadors and the, what was the other one? We had another one, nicknamed the fridge, because you never put the heating on the tight gate. It was freezing. But anyway, the end bit, really, they pulled up outside the craze in this motor with the minder and the driver, and the minder leans out the window and he says, where's this fucking Eric Beaton? So anyway, Eric had already spotted it because Eric was no idiot, big lump in his day. He just come down and he had it was kind of crafty because people said it were a baseball bat. It actually weren't a baseball bat. It were a rounder's bat, and it up his sleeve like that. Because I said to him then, what with the like forearm smashes and that? I said, somebody didn't smash your arm, and he just smiled at me. And then I found out, and it was just the same length. So when the air yanked out and whoosh, you know what I mean? And then there's no Tom pictures for that, is there? With his baggy sleeve on his shirt. But yeah, that's basically that. And then the craze didn't. They kind of smiled at each other, thought it was quite funny. He threw him back and they drove off. Now at the end of that, because we all thought there'd be a bit of a comeback, because in the day, the word was just, which the gay one of the twins, just Jack Mahat, was it? Jack Mahat, something like that. They just sorted him out, and he went in one of the pylons, because half the bodies were in the pylons up the motorway when they were doing the motorway. When they had a fresh pour, they had a gang up there on the dough, and they stuck the body in, and it was, so there must be loads of bodies in them concrete pillars all up the motorway, but that's the end of that, really.
And just before we leave the craze, Joe, what's your opinion of the craze sort of reign in London? Because
I'll be dead straight with you. It was a far better, safer place with them. You know what I mean? Because they all say, I mean, they were born and bred in Valence Road, and it's weird because it was Valence Road in London, obviously, and I were born and bred in Valence Road in Braunston, in Leicester. So a bit strange, but no, I used to speak to Diane because Diane was going out with Charlie, the older brother, because he wanted to fill me in one night at a party, all because I kissed Diane. But Diane went to school with us, so she was like a Leicester girl. And, and he got the hump because you weren't allowed to do that. But it was that silly bugger, he was running up to me, and because it was Digger's mum's Ruby anniversary, something. Yeah, Ruby, the big one. And we'd all gone out, we'd all come up, and they'd come up from London, and yeah, I mean, she said you can leave your front door open, your window open, your keys in the door, keys in the car, nothing. We're all around that area. You've got, and if they found out, it was sorted. Yeah. So, like, no, I think you can't fault them on that one.
Yeah. Thought I'd just ask you that, John, because, we hear so much about lawless London these days, don't we? Some of the stuff you see on the news.
Yeah, if they'd been still in control now, okay. They only really fell out with there's similar people, but the bad lads, you know what I mean, as we call them. So, really, no, it's a bit like him abroad, isn't it? When they killed him, was it Hussein, was it? But when they done him, and then it all went tits up, didn't it? Sometimes it's best to leave people to run their own shop, don't they?
Absolutely. Okay, let's get back to Leicester then. So last time we'd said you'd worked your way up through the doors, and now you were starting to sort of become a fairly influential figure, shall we say, in the Leicester nightlife scene. Sort of what happened then?
Well, I just started meeting different characters, and they'll give you a bit of respect, so you give it back. And some of the lads, I love a character. I don't want to talk to a normal person. You know what I mean? If I go in a pub or a club and they go, oh, what's he dressed like that for? Who's he think he is? I want to talk to him because he's different. And I just found it really good. I mean, the one kid used to go in the pub and he'd become part of the Crazy Gang. His name were Apparently. Now, to this day, I don't know his proper name. I know he had a electric shop down Green Lane Road area. He had that, but when he walk in, he'd go, hello, apparently you're all here, all you lot. And we'd go, oh, apparently you're all right. Yeah, apparently I'm a bit late. Every third word was apparently. Now it don't sound much, but like at the end of the night, if you had more than an hour with him, everybody were apparently you're around. Apparently, and it was like that all night. And he were hilarious. Every time he come in, oh, here's apparently. Apparently I'm coming. And apparently we're meeting again, or apparently. I mean, it was unbelievable. See, little things like that. Yeah. Well, it's great to talk to you because you couldn't stop laughing. I mean, the one kid, Melvin Mumford, he's dead now, bless him. He become a big pal of mine. But, his favourite, he done impersonations. So his favourite one, remember the cowboy, Robert Mitchum, with a fag? So he'd want to go in the pub first. Couldn't fight. But we had loads of fights because he was my pal and I weren't having nobody beat my pal. You know, but he'd walk in with this fag, hanging from his lip like Robert Mitchum. He'd go, yeah, few damn arseholes in this gas. He copied the film he'd been watching with Robert Mitchum. And I remember we were, where was it? We were in Charles Street. We'd had a kebab and we were going in the French Revolution, remember it? So as we crossed the road, a car nearly ran and Melvin, typical, slung out, booted the car. It stopped. Big limousine, posh car. In them days, you know, it was a posh car there. 5 Chinese got out, all in suits, immaculate. And I thought, this looks a bit weird. So they're all talking against each other. Then they went like that to Melvin. This particular one stepped forward, dead slim. Always remembering this grey silver suit, but it were a good one. You could tell it were made really good. You know. And he went like that, and I went, whoa, mate, no. Sorry about that. He just got, and he went, Melvin went, shut up, you Chinese crump. You know what I mean, typical. And I went, oh no. So anyway, he went like, so he looked at me and he went, and he went, so I went, whatever. So anyway, he stepped back. I always remember him, flicked his button off, undone his coat. He went in the air, and I couldn't believe it. He'd flat booted me, and I went on my arse and slid into a doorway. And I went like, and I thought, Jesus. I got up and I thought, he ain't doing that again. Wrong. You know, so he come outside. I thought, I've got to not stand still here with this kid. I've got to move about a bit because we had that many fights. You get to know a bit, you know. So I like getting at the bob and weave, and all of a sudden he went out and he swung out and he done a roundhouse kick, boot me, and I was back in the doorway again. So twice down, I thought, I've got a strange feeling I'm not going to win this one. I said to Melvin, I says, Melvin, shut your gob, or would you like to step in? No, like, you go and have a go. So he went, no, well, I've less of that behaviour from me. So anyway, he looked and he went, and they all laughing. And every time he did it, the others went, Gave him a clap and he went. So it made me really mad. And I thought, I thought, one more go. I'll have to call it quits if he knocks me down again, that frigging doorway.
I would just like to say a massive thank you to everybody who watches and supports this podcast, and in particular to our sponsors. Our main sponsor, Igloo Staffing Solutions, and our IT sponsor, Whiteski Digital. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this podcast, hit like, leave a comment, and do not forget to subscribe. Now let's crack on with the content.
So I've got like that. I thought, right, keep my hand up for the roundhouse kick and try and block the foot if it's a straight jump. So I'm ready to jump back when he jumped up. Well, all of a sudden this blur of hands come and are in the doorway again. I thought, I can't. So I went like, I always remember, I went like that to him, I went, he went, yeah, it was good. And I went. So like, and I went, that was his mistake. I put my hand out, he shook my hand and I went, chum it. I got it, and my left went, and I ragged him in, bang, bang, bang. I must have given him 1,000 punches in me, because I thought, he ain't got my hand, and he was trying to do this. And anyway, I'd done him, and I dropped him, and I never booted, no stamp, because he was dead loyal to me, he didn't follow me in, so I thought, no, you're a gentleman, let me get up. You know, not like nowadays, want to stamp all over your head. They ain't true. A proper fighter will fight one. If you're losing, you bow down. I can name you loads of fights I've had like that. So he got up and I went like that, you know, and he smiled. And they all looked at me, I thought, I'm in trouble now. They all looked at me and they all went. I thought, thank God for that. You know what I mean? Thank God for that. I feared the worst. And then, yeah, and then I went, all right, so anyway, then I went like that, I went like that, and he went, no. Then he went, obviously he could only do broken English, he went like that, and he went, he wouldn't shake me hand, and he went, I never forget. Yeah. And he went like that, then he went like that, the guy in the car and drove off. I couldn't, you know what, don't you? I couldn't eat with dinner for about 2 days. Eat with that, I don't know who he was, but...
I was going to say, any idea who they were?
No, because then he just drove off.
Yeah.
But they'd been in the Grand, so they were staying at the Grand. Yeah. And in them days, you stayed at the Grand, you had dough.
Yeah, it really was the Grand then.
Yeah, not like now, and it's full of immigrants, isn't it? I mean, Jesus Christ, when I was a kid, we used to go, they had a little bar at the side, we used to go in there, all the lads. Yeah, but that's... that was a Chinese story with Melvin. But what a character. Great character. When he died, broke me heart. One of his best pals was Little Roy. They called him Petal, because he was only about 4'10". He just turned 80 last week. Bless him. Yeah, good lad. That was his best mate. But, Little Roy, yeah, here's the story. So anyway, Little Roy played dominoes in the Gypsy every Wednesday. So Marvin said to me, Little Roy can't play in the domino team because there's not enough room. I went, why isn't there enough room now? So he says, there's a new kid on the block, bit yappy. He's took his spot and Roy can't do it. So I went, all right. I said, when is Wednesday? I said to Marvin, tell him, turn up, go and fetch him, and I'll see you in the pub Wednesday. So I walked in, they're all sitting down playing T-ball. I said to Little Roy, I said, he's sitting down. He's the same size as you now. I said, turn back. I said, tap him on the shoulder. When he tap him on the shoulder, he will turn around like that. I said, why he's got his neck to one side like that? You give him, you know what I mean? And that'll be all over. I said, if not, you got to give him some more. And that's actually what happened. And then Little Roy got his spot back in playing dominoes. Yeah. That's about it on that one.
Talking to people who are no longer with us, I had a message from Janet, Phil Crisp's sister, the other day.
Oh, yeah.
And she just she really enjoyed the first podcast and hearing your stories. And she just wanted to know if there were any stories you could sort of elaborate on about.
Yeah, we done the door, They were having a lot of trouble at the Airman's Rest, Braunston, and they had Doormen there, and they couldn't handle it because the travellers were going in, and the Braunston kids and the New Parts kids, but the different weirs, it was like everybody knew us. So they didn't like strangers, even if we were Doormen from out of town or something like that. So, here's a good one. Phil and Paul Sampson were on one door, because two big doors with a great big gap in between, an entrance, and then there's another entrance with two big doors. So Phil and Paul were on one door, and me and young Eric Beaton were on the other door. And we were a bit strong because the till, because the charge to go in and blah, blah, blah. I think they were just getting our money because we were very expensive in them days. And one day, car pulls up in the car park. I'm always pay attention. I don't drink when I'm working. You know what I mean? I'm not a big drinker now, in fact. The car pulls up. I looks at this car. Nobody's got out. So I said to Eric, nobody's got out that motor. What are they sitting there for? Anyway, next minute, doors open, two kids, balaclavas on. I went, it's in it. I went, it. So pulled up like that. So anyway, they went like that, popped the boot, walked round, one got a shotgun out and one got a crossbow out. I went, fucking hell, we're in trouble here. So Paul and Phil Chris shut the door, went in and shut their doors, then come through the building, through the dance hall and stood at the back so we were together. And then I said to Paul, I says, just don't let him in, you know what I mean? We've got to sort this. So anyway, they stood there for a bit with the gun and the crossbow. So I says, this ain't going to go nowhere, this ain't. I said, I ain't going in there. So like, Eric got behind the car and got like on the, and I says, fuck it. I says, it's 20 foot away. So anyway, I smashed the glass, put my coat round my arm, and I thought, I've just, you know what I mean? So I ran, and I'm running at him, and I got right up, and I'm like, awesome. He's gone, it's Ant Reed, ain't it? And Jeff Bullock. You know what I mean? I get 6 foot away from him. Yeah. If I'd have got there, I'd have took his throat out because I thought, you're going to kill us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I had stood in court and gone, well, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
And he went, stop it, it's me, his son. I went, you swats. But that's what they were like.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows. I mean, do you want some stories about them? I can give you. In the end, them pair, Jeff Bullock and Ant Reed, were nicknamed the shit eaters. Because we're actually in a pub in, where was it? Silver Street. That one is you just go in on the left. Forgot what it's called now. Anyway, we're all in there, all the lads, and everybody met there on a Saturday. And all they're going football or something. And Ant Reed and Jeff Bullock went toilet, come out, all of a sudden, and went, what you got in your hand, Jeff? And he went like, and he went, it was toilet paper round one of Richard III. Yeah, exactly. And we all went, oh, you bastard. So this is Jeff Bullock holding there. So he went, it's chocolate flavoured. And he went, is it? Oh, everybody in the pub went outside in the gutter and we're all going, oh. They'd done the lot and they were laughing. That's how they got the name the Shitty. And I remember because we looked back and they both stood in the door like that, you know, with the teeth. Oh, and that's how they got the name the Shitty.
Yeah.
But I could tell you some story for them pair. But yeah, nearly took his throat out. Jesus, thank God he didn't get to him. I mean, who'd do that? You know.
Well, you mentioned the Crazy Gang earlier, and you know, there's there's generations in Leicester who'll know what the Crazy Gang were all about, but there's an awful lot of people who won't know what the Crazy Gang is all about. So just give us a bit of an explanation, John.
Well, we had a following, you know. Wilcox called Wilcox, John Wilcox. That's how he spoke all the time. You know what I mean? I mean, he's a roofer, but he spoke like that, John Wilcox. So he was the captain. So he recruited, but we actually had him. You must have we got blamed for a lot of things we didn't do because there was, as Wilcox go, it wasn't one of us, it was an HO. Hang on. He was in court one day. We've all been scrapping again. Went court quite a few times. I could have bought a Bentley, but I paid him fines. But it weren't clever. When you think back, you think, oh, what an idiot. You know what I mean? Till you grow up. You know what I mean? Wilcox stood there in court, and he's like that. The barrister comes up, and he's like that. And he went, Mr. Wilcox, are you, or are you not, a member of the so-called Leicester Crazy Gang? So he went, speaking posh back to him, he went like that, grabbed his coat, and he went, well, Your Honour. He's now speaking to the fucking judge. I thought, oh no. He went, well, Your Honour, am I a member of the so-called Leicester Crazy Gang? I'm a member of the West End Working Men's Club. Oh, well, it done the whole gallery, because there were loads there gone to watch because they knew Wilcox was going to start acting, because he was a terrific actor. Yeah. Absolutely. He cried. I could go on and on and on about stories about him and his mate, the lunatic. He was actually worse than Wilcox, the lunatic. We had, that's it, we had, you know the shop freezers, the big ones, they had a bet. Wilcox and Lunatic were going to get in one, in their underpants, in each one, shut the lid. So they've gone to the shop. I think apparently they organised it because he knows everybody. Apparently, with shops. so anyway, Wilcox gets in, and the Lunatic gets in. There's and is. So anyway, about 10 minutes goes by. I went. I think, you know, me trying to be sensible, the non-drunk one, because I don't drink a lot, I went, I think we ought to have a little look. So we go on then. So we've lifted it, look, Wilcox is mauve, literally mauve. You know what I mean? All this white crust around. I went, you all right, John? He was like that. Because he had a tendency to go like that. We call it the smile and go, you know, with this daft smile. We had a daft smile night one night. Everybody had to go out like that. And we walked around all night, and if you put a fiver in the hat, and whoever, as soon as you didn't do it, you had to put another fiver in. And whoever did it till the end of the night, which you know it was going to be Wilcox, because he'd make you laugh on purpose, so you couldn't do it. But what radio? I jumped a story there, didn't I? Anyway, we lifted it up, his mauve, we gets him out, and I said, rub him down, rub him like that, and he's coming around. I said, he could have died of hypothermia. We'd all been done for attempted murder or something. So anyway, we're talking away, we're going down, we dressed him and all that. All of a sudden I went, help? I went, what? I went, how about the lunatic? He's still in there. This is another 5 or 6 minutes. We lifted it up. Well, Jesus Christ. He had icicles coming out his nose and his mouth. So he'd done the same. Nobody died. I'll never know. And I'll give you another story now going to the lunatic. So anyway, in the pub one night, what happened? Oh, it was hot summer's day. We're going up the Markfield Quarry. We're all driving, because in them days you just walk the line, didn't you? You know what I mean? There weren't no breathalyzer out like that. So we goes up Markfield Quarry, we're going to go swimming. So the lunatic says, let's go off the top. So I went, it's pitch black. I've been up there before. We used to swim up there quite a bit, everybody, in them days. I thought, I said, you've got to climb down. I says, anyway, no, I'm jumping. So anyway, He stood back, he ran, tucked his legs up, and it went, the water. I'll never forget it, and I went, he's dead. I said, there's rocks and everything in there, he's dead. So they went, anyway, 10 minutes later, he stood at the side of his dripping wet through, no clothes on. I went, hence his name, the lunatic. But, and so anyway, I thought, I always remember, I got a big boulder, and I put it there because I thought, I've got to see where he jumped off, you know, the next day in the light. So I took me young enough, we went out, had a look, and I looked and I went, oh my God, there were rocks on either side and he was bang in the middle. So if he'd have deviated any bit, he'd have been dead. Whether he planned it and he knew where he was jumping, I don't know, but would you, I mean, you're talking 40 foot up, that big, and that water, the impact, the coldness, you know what I mean, it's freezing.
So how many were in the Crazy Gang, John?
Well, there was a lot.
As in proper members?
Yeah. There was, well, who was you had to answer to was God. His nickname was God. His name was Trevor Withers. He was a manager of a foundry near somewhere. Where was it? He had a big moustache and a bald head. Where was the foundry? Near the Roman thing in the town. There, somewhere. Anyway, he run that. And he went to South Africa and lived there. Still there. But he was God, he was running it. Then Wilcox was captain. Then there was Racing Raymond, Dangles. He was in charge of all the betting and all the scams for every Wednesday we go to the what you call it, the Epsom Derby was on a Wednesday. Yeah, and we'd have a bus, but we'd have all the white smocks made. You know what, the tote staff, we'd have signs written, official tote staff, because to get into Epsom Derby Day with the cars, it's a mile long, so we'd be on the outside. The police would be waving us on. Roughest Robert was in it. He'd be standing on the door like that, with the door open, standing there, and then in the window were officials stoked up, and they're waving us through. And so we'd got free parking, and we'd end up, what do you call it? Ruben climbed up the tent naked, and it was all cut off. It was, what's his name? Is it a little jockey that got made as Sir Gordon Richards, was it? Was it that little? Anyway, to get into this where all the posh people were, you ain't got a million. So Ruben climbed up the tent, the outside, up the thing, over and slid down. That had all burns on his arse because he was naked. Went off like that. And done the table where Sir Richard was. And Ruben went, sorry about that, Sir Richard, it was for a bet. He bust out laughing. And he said, I've just dropped in, literally. And they chucked him out. And we did things like that. How many members? Don't know. How many? M1 John. He got named M1 John because he travelled up and down the M1. Terry the Coat. He had outrageous bright coloured coats. He was another typical character. He's done some wild things. I could go on for hours. And who else was there? Big Ernie, he's dead now, bless him. His nickname was Girl's Voice. Great big bloke, but you want to fight with me then? You know what I mean? The Count Yorga, he was in the Crazy Gang. He looked like Dracula. He was dead skinny and small, like, and he was like that. But that's how he got the name, the Count. So he was trying to knock off Margaret, Ernie's girlfriend, and we all knew about it. I thought, oh dear, this is going to get tits up, and he did. So the Count says, "All right," Ernie pulled him and went, "You got." And the Count flew at him, and then he caught him in mid-air, and he rang him, and he bent him over, and he was going blue. And I said, ain't it? I think it's enough now, mate. I says, oh, you're going to be on the murder trial. He's gone blue. The next day, he's dead. I says, you've got to let go, mate. So anyway, that was done. We used to go into the pub on the Foss Road. What was it? Merry Monnet? Remember?
Yeah.
With it, hey, here's one. They had the gas people were out there with all the yellow pipes and the fittings and all that. Wilcox went, right, John Holly, that's what he called me, or Flashman. He had a couple of names like that. Right, John Holly. Well, everybody take a fitting in. So anyway, everybody took a fitting in, and then they opened the window, and Wilcox went, cause a fight. So because of a fight, the gaffer went, back in him, so the window opened, so the lens, the lens of pipe. I mean, now it's in a roll, but in them days it was lens. So all the lens went in, it went on the floor, and they're putting the fittings on, and they're trying to screw them up, because they're about that wide. Yeah. So we had this yellow thing all going round the pub, all like that, and the fire, the gaffer's going like that. Anyway, he's not expecting any old boss for it. Clear, everybody sit down. So we all sat down, the gaffer's pulling away, and it wasn't, he went. He looked, and I very thought, what the hell? And he looked over, and he couldn't believe it. Because all this yellow gas pipe all round the pub. So that was another thing. Oh, that was it. That Merry Monnet, because Wilcox, he come up, we'll come one night, we're going to Merry Monnet. I got new bar staff on, young girl. I said, what's your plan? He went, just follow it. I went, oh, okay. Says, what I'm doing? He says, you lot come in after, I'm going in first on my own. So anyway, unbeknown to us, I sent one of the lads and said, go and see what he's doing. I ain't, you know what I mean, I ain't getting nicked. You know what I mean? Because they're all mad. You know what I mean? So anyway, he come back out, he said, I've just heard him doing a conversation with the barmaid. He says, like what? So he said, you have to excuse me if I look a bit sad. I've just lost a member of my family. So she went, oh, that's a shame. He went, yeah, it's running. We've had this kind of liver failure. So she went, oh, right. So anyway, we've all come in and stood near him and we're looking at him. All of a sudden, he's got this, remember in the joke shop, you could get blood capsules. He got his piece of liver and the blood capsules. And he got 2 or 3 more bits and he's gone like that. And also 2 or 3 of us have got bits of liver. So anyway, he's popped the liver in his mouth, pushed the blood capsule, she's turned round, he's kneeling down on the floor and he's like, and she's gone, ah! Then as she screamed like that, we've all popped and we've gone, and she's gone, ah! She ran out of the pub and they'd never seen her again. I said, oh my God. Yeah.
How long did the Crazy Gang last for then, John?
Oh, years. We kept getting pulled. We didn't actually do any, like, it wasn't violent, it was stupid tricks. I mean, we had we got raided once, all the police got guns, we weren't guns, we got water pistols. We got into the one on Woodgate where they had the strippers. So they said, you can't do it because there's a minder there and he's dead nasty. So he said, oh, we're going to wind him up then, because that's what we were like. So we've gone in with all these water pistols, the strippers come on, gone, he's got him in. Who's got that water pistol? About 30 on us. Drenched him. That was that. What was I going to say about Ruben? Oh, there's a story. Oh, yes, cracker. Ruben Thurley. There are a load of them, you know. There are about 6 of them called the Dippers. They had a competition once. Who could go and steal the most strangest thing? Paul Botcher will come back with, on the high street, they had the carpets all outside, about 15, 20 foot. He bent one over his shoulder and walked down the street with it in some white overalls, because they're all dressed apart, they know what they're doing. He had to do that. Who else? I better be careful with the names. Somebody went in and with a sack barrow where all the washing machines were and walked out with the hat on the sack barrow. And that's it. That's how he got away with it. He took an old one in off the tip and said to the boat, I've brought this back. The ladies told me to bring it. There's a new one here somewhere. He went, oh, that one. The bloke helped him in the shop, put it on, and he walked out with this brand new Hoover washing machine. And what else was that? Oh, and then there was a shop down Churchgate, and it had a inner with holes in the window. You had all the trumpets and all the things. It was a musical shop, wasn't it? Was it Churchgate?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I remember it. Yeah.
Remember that? Yeah, just down there. Yeah, and the what you call it? He screwed the thing off and took the saxophone, and he had a saxophone. So we had a vote on who's won it, and I went, I don't know really. I said, not a lot in it, is there? I said, I thought the washing machine were ambitious. That were clever. I'd done that. Carpet, lucky, just got away with it. And the other one, well, don't know, you unscrewed that in a shop. And you know what I mean? But that, yeah. Then, well, Ruben's wedding. Oh. Absolutely. Anyway, Ruben wants at his wedding top hat and tails. So, anyway, we've all turned up top hat and tails. There's no Wilcox. So I says, we're all sitting down, and Ruben's got up with the lady, his girl, and starts doing what you call it, the vows with the vicar. So he's blah blah. All of a sudden, it's I think it's a DJ place now, isn't it, or a radio place up Melton Road. It used to be a church.
Oh yeah.
That massive church, and that's something.
Radio station or something.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway. Massive big oak doors. We've sat there. All of a sudden, remember now, we all sat there in these top hat and tails. All of a sudden we heard, because it was dead quiet and he's doing the vows. And Culver gone, what, that's the doors. So we've all gone like that and looked. And he went, and there's the door and there's the Wilcox like that. He's dressed as the Mad Hatter. He's got the waistcoat on, check, the tight trousers, the big hat with number 10 on it. And he went like that. This is the bit that done me. He went like that. And he went, I'm late for a very important date. And he ran down the aisle. Well, the bride's wife, she was crying. You can imagine, it's an important day, and there's Wilcox, let loose, you know. And he's running down, I'm late for a very important date.
What age were you all at this time, John?
30s.
Yeah.
But a lot of them were 10 above. Ruben and all them were younger than 10 below me. I was in the middle, then the others, you know, they were like that.
And what happened? Did it just die out in the end, or?
No, right, we couldn't keep paying the fines.
Yeah.
They had an order on us.
Yeah.
Every time we went somewhere, they'd swoop.
Yeah.
And if there were a scrap in the pub, we got the blame.
Yeah.
And all the HOs would turn up, and there were more and more, and it was getting too much. And it was ridiculous. I could have bought a Bentley where I paid out. And you ain't done half on it, because the HOs, and you'll get, if you did have a fight, you had a straightener, an HO coming then do a bit of booting, and you got the blame for it.
Yeah.
I mean, all that's it to do with the wedding. Before we went to the wedding, we went in the Clough's Arms, across the road from that. You remember that side street, Irish pub? So we're all in there, and what you call it, Big Dig Award. Remember Anstey Roofing? He had we're all in the top hat and tails, and so he's devised this fiver in the hat, one glove on, one glove off, and everybody's got to talk like that all day. As soon as you stop talking like that, you've lost your £5. So anyway, we've all put in away. So we've gone in there, like, and this is before we're going in for the wedding, and big Irish lads, and in them days, they went out with what they worked in. They had always had no collar on their shirts, sleeves rolled up, and the boots took the trousers in the side, and they'd be digging away all day long, right grafters. You know, there were no forklifts and things like that. Everything was manhandled and all that. This big Paddy, he went, "Hey, you fucking English puffs." So Digger went, "I beg your pardon, young man." So he said, "Look at you," because we were all talking like that. And he went, "You fucking English fucking puffs." He says, "You want a slap?" So Wilcox went, Would you like to put some money on the table, some notes of the realm?" So this big Paddy, he went, "As much as you like." So Wilcox went, "Well, gather the money," and then Dangles his ear there, and he's the bookmaker. He's gone, "Oh, earner, dish." He's straight in. He went, "Right, what you got there?" Oh, God, fucking Dangles. How much we got on there then?" Dangles went, "I'll double it." You know what I mean? So we didn't even have to put no money in. So I says, "Hang on a minute, what's that?" And then, what do you call it? Wilcox went, "The Honourable Flashman will have a fight. Won't you, Flash?" So I went, "See, I see you look at the size on him." So he went, "Got nothing away." There's all money in there. And well, of course, Dangles went, "You'll always be £100 up. So you know that, don't you?" And I went, "Oh yeah, we'll have some of that. Come on, let's go in the yard." So we went in the yard, stripped off, and I'm doing my Queensby rules. I'm like that. He comes out, I thought, he's a street fighter, he'll come in, bang, bang. So he's coming to give me the big, and all street fighters, I make a terrible mistake. When they're going to hit you, they draw back to get the big one in. So as soon as they draw back, you go, you know what I mean? So done an eye, done the other eye, done his nose, and that it really. Then he went, I think you've had enough. So I says, "Great, so have I, my hand's killing me." So anyway, we goes in the pub, he buys us all a drink, Dangles collects the money, shared it out, and quite interesting day.
Yeah. In a weird type of way, John, like more innocent times as well. You know, nobody's bringing out anything nasty in the way of weapons or whatever.
No, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And, I mean, always, I was known for it. If you wanted to fight me, you come to the door. You know what I mean? And I'd fight him, as long as someone money in for it. I fought Mark Lennon. He was a kiddie in Anstey at the time, 10 years younger, and he was, he was a good scrapper. We met on the pastures, Sunday morning, typical. There were a few there. There's always a few, as in few hundred. And we'd do that, and we'd have a pot, and whoever had enough, yeah, that's it. I didn't win them all. All these people that say, "Oh, you know," and they say you've won them all. Well, no, I didn't. No, far from it. No, but I won most of them. That's why Dangles could get you a fight, because you get more money like that. Well, who else did it for? Oh, I remember, he's dead now. Football kid, New Parks. Big family. Oh, what was his name? Can't think of his name. How can I not think of his name? Anyway, I had a fight with him, and it was 17 minutes outside the club. And because they timed it. Yeah, and I was, he had had enough in the end. And I think the only reason I won that, because he hit me with a big one, and I'd gone down, and Eric picked me up. I said, "Let me get my breath back." I got my breath back. He went, "You all right?" "Yeah." And he threw me back in. And then we just carried on fighting. Can't believe I forgot.
And would you say, John, there was a time when obviously your name was so well known that you sometimes thought, "I wish it wasn't so well known"?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, because Paul Lings used to pick on me. And he, there were no doubt about Paul was an hard kid in his day. An hard kid. He was a fitness fanatic, run round Braggart, done a bit of boxing, didn't go work, lived off Rosie Green, prostitute. So he didn't go work, so like, you know, he was, every time he'd come in a pub, he'd tap me and let me go. I had to leave. And then we were in Trevina's one night, and what happened? He come in, and Jim Alford, he just took over, and he says, Paul's come in. I said, how does he wear? He says, 2. Oh, okay. So I was with Chris Fray and Mark Badham. Mark Badham were a Welsh, well, he weren't Welsh, but he played down Wales, rugby. They were a big lump, and Chris Fray were well known up the New Parks. So I says to the lads, I said, I ain't going tonight. So he says, what? I says, I ain't going. So I'm sick on it. Shit or bust. So, okay. So anyway, I've always remember, because Jim used to serve tiger milk. Everybody drank that shit. Horrible. But he leaned over and went, bottle of tiger milk, blur it to the bar. Then he tapped me on the shoulder, because I were like, but I'd put myself like that, so, because I prefer my left, I put my hand ready. So as he tapped me on the shoulder, I turned around like that, and he was still looking at the bar, thinking I was just going to go. I think he did say that, time to go, Songy. And I went, and then I just kept, because it was more of a frightened fight. I knew if I stopped, I'm in trouble. And he was keeping up with the crowd and like that, and he just kept, he didn't go down. Then he went down. Then I remember I had these Chelsea boots on. Remember, with the zip. So he unzipped me, put my hand inside my Chelsea boot, and because I couldn't hit him no more, my hand was like a balloon. Because people think, yeah, wait, you don't. I mean, that's why my hand's knackered now. Completely. Yeah. That was it, really. Then we become, actually, it's strange, a bit like Mark Lennon and all them. If you have a fight with a good one, then you sort of become friends because you appreciate each other, especially when it's close.
Yeah, mutual respect.
Yeah, and they would never know coming back with knives and all that shit.
Well, that's what I was going to say, John. I was going to ask you now about, we got as far last time as saying you become a big figure on the doors, but how did things change over the years? Because, like you just alluded to, things became, or are, pretty nasty these days.
It was when I noticed when cocaine started getting, that's what done it. It was all right while they were on the blow, they're more chilled, but when the LSD things in, then they're out the shred, you know, the shed, and all things like, then all them tablets and strange things, and I used to say to them, ain't you freak, because you don't know what you're taking. You know what I mean? I mean, that zombie stuff weren't in then, in them, but now, look at them now, walking around like zombies.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, and you never got really, in them days as well, you got, it was like Inspector Cougar. He was good. He was an old sort of copper. He was all right. He'd listen and he'd see. And he said to me one day, he come up and he said, they had a meeting about your gaff, they're going to shut it down. So I went, well, what reason? He said, because of all the people that are bad. I says, what did you say? He said, I said to him, we've got 11 PCs rolling this city centre. He says, I know where every arsehole is, here in there. JT's secret thing. He says, they're angling them, they behave themselves, obviously now and again, blur. But he says, no, I can't run that on your 11 PCs. I know where they all are, so I stick 2 across the road. Two across the road, you used to love it when we had a fight, they used to watch. Yeah. They never stopped it to watch.
What would you say was the roughest place in Leicester going back in the day then, John?
Well, yeah, you had a few pubs, didn't you? When the early years, it was the Nelson. Remember the Nelson and the other one? Opposite Lewis's, when it was Lewis's.
Yeah, yeah. I don't remember it, but someone was telling me about it recently. Yeah,
There were 2 pubs there.
yeah.
I used to go in there with a family I met called the Anglers. 2 of them, Rod and Lowell, live in America now, but they've lived there for, I don't know, must be 30, 40 years now. But Little Rod, here's a nice story for you. Little Rod, just under 5 foot, but unbeknown to everybody, well, not to us. They were army kids, because their dad was army. He worked on the waterworks. We used to stay there some nights. Great family, lovely family. And there were Lowell and Rod, but Little Rod was inter-service champion, combined service champion, Far East champion. You know, he was the full hit. He may be a bantamweight. His nickname was Tiger Hanley. Lowell was similar. He had degrees, you know what I mean? So there was Big Ernie, and then there was me. And I remember we all walked into the Nelson one night, door open. A lot of Paddy's in there as well. And we walked in, and this big Paddy went, because Ernie at the front, Big Ernie, you imagine, then there were Lowell, then me, then Rod, and so it went like that. And this Paddy went, fucking hell, it's Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. Can you imagine? So I said, Little Rod, I says, what do you reckon then, Rod? So he went, I'll go and ask him what he meant. I went, yeah, okay. So he walked up and he went to the Paddy, he went, would you like to fight the littlest one? And this big Paddy went, he thought he was obviously just going to give him a slap. Anyway, we opened the door, because Rod turned him round, so you were like facing him like that. So we opened the door, because we knew it was going to be a blur of punches, and all of a sudden it went, bah, 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 bah. He went out the door, and he's gone across the road, hit the Lewis's window and slid down the window. And that was the end of him, and that was the end of that. But yeah, that was the Hanley family. Yeah, lovely family.
Do you ever go into town now for a drink, John, and have a look at the Doormen and sort of compare them to
It's all
to your
ticket boys. We call them ticket boys. They're not really. They don't have to fight, because they film it and they call the police and all that. In our day, though, like, you sort it, and it's blatant. If you met more than 2, if you ring up the police more than 2 or 3 times in them days, they say, you can't handle this, we'll shut it. There weren't no, you know, nothing else. They shut you down.
Yeah.
So you had to deal with it, and you had to be a good door. I mean, I picked them from all the estates, like Phil Crisp and Paul Sampson from the Saffron Lane and all that, and then Chris Ferray from Johnny Marsh, and see Johnny Marsh, you fight Johnny Marsh, and then you fight all his brothers. There's 4 of them. So you sort of, I used my brain, you know what I mean? And then if we had a load in and there was trouble, I'd go, hey, look, that's your lot. You know, and they'd give him respect because he was the hardest one of where they come from. So you sort of zipped it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that.
And like you said, the ones on the doors now.
Oh, no.
And these SIA licences?
Well, you open the back of crisps, don't you? You know what I mean? As we say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't have to be proven. They do. I mean, they walk around try and look the part, but they don't look the part. Whereas a lot is like, and if you're a good team, it's a bit like Vin when I worked for Vincent then. It were a good team. So, you know, he was so strict. That's why he had all the footballers in and all the... here's a story for you. In Secrets, we had a cocktail lounge. And the rugby players all come. When they finished playing rugby, the Tigers, they'd come in. And so I kept it for them sort of thing, you know what I mean? If anybody, well, can't we come in? Because they're all right, good love. I went, you can. I said, but you do realise if somebody's sick, they'll do it in a glass and then one of them will drink it. I said that, and they go, oh, I went, precisely. I said, then they do, they'll probably do a few somersaults over the chair and the table and probably break the chair or break the table. I said, there's not actually any violence, but it's, I can do this, you can't do this. It's that. And I says, and they'll drink and drink. One night, anyway, we shut by, everybody's gone. All the rugby players can stay because you get another 200 or 300 quid. You know what I mean? So Murphy, Big John Murphy, his nickname was Mad Dog for Tigers. He had this, his 21st birthday present off his dad, because Murphy spoke quite good, you know, public school boy, educated, but a big unit and likes a rough and tumble. You know what I mean? So he's got this Rolex on with all diamonds around. God knows what it was worth. A lot of money. So he, what happened? He lost it. He was doing one of his somersaults. Jumping up, running up, grabbing the table, flipping over, and if they didn't make it, it broke. But I always charged him at the end of the night for a new table. It ain't got a problem. And his watch come off, and I went, oh, there's his watch. I picked it up, puts it in my pocket. I thought, I'll get him when he stopped blaring about. Of course, at the end of the night, I forgot all about it. At the end of the night, he's gone, and he's gone, what's time we better go? And he went, well, you bastard. He went, I've lost my watch. So I went, I went, what you done? He says, lost my watch, it's a Rolex. My dad's, it's my 21st, he'll get crackers. Sorry. I said, good job I picked it up then, innit? Here you go. And he went like that. Anyway, he looked at him, went, you didn't have to do that. I went, I certainly I don't do things like that. I said, you become a friend. I says, and I wouldn't do it if I didn't know you. I'm not like that. So he says, all right. All of a sudden, the glass collector, Wayne, he went, good job it weren't me. I went, he heard him. I went, that's a silly thing to say, Wayne, isn't it? The whole place went quiet. All the women, and you know what I mean? So from putting it on, he's took it off. And I went, oh no, here we go. So he says, right, young man, what I'll do is I'll put it next to the door, and obviously you'll stand with me at the bar, and I'll give you 1 second to go for it. And obviously, if I've got to stop you. So I said to Wayne, you're not, he's a rugby player. I said, he's off the mark like a fucking rocket. I says, you are a glass collector. I says, it's not going to work, is it? You know what I mean? And he went, you ain't seen me run. I went, I probably will do at the end of the night. When, you know what I mean, he gets upset. I said, anyway, so he puts it there and he went, well, I can have it. And he went, oh yes, you can have it. So I've seen him put his foot against the bar, you know, the bottom of the bar. So he's got his a bit like a runner in these things, isn't it? So I looked, I thought, oh yeah, he's ready for there. And he's also squatted down, and then they went, right, count to 3 then. And one of the lads went, it was Bovo. He played for Tigers as well. Nice kid, another educated kid, big lump. They're all big lumps. So it 1, 2, 3. Wayne went, I think he got about 3 foot, maybe 4 foot. It was nowhere near the door, but he ended up in the door because he took him out, waist, and slid along the floor and smashed him into the door. Got his watch, and Wayne's like that. And I went, Wayne? He went, what happened? I went, no, Wayne, that's why you're a glass collector and he's a rugby player. Great story. They could drink, they could do some acrobats, them lads, you know. Unbelievable. I've always said that. I've never actually been a big fan of the steroid lads. They look the part and all that, but I think them rugby lads, the athletic build and the fitness,
Yeah.
and what they do on a match is incredible. They earn every penny. Not to me, footballers don't. I think they do. That's the way. I'm not a big. I mean, obviously, I'm a City fan because I'm home and bred. But yeah, they're yeah.
Well, you're not going to believe this, John. We've done another hour again.
Yeah, well, I ain't even got on the stories with Wilcox.
So we might have to be arranging a part 3 in the not so distant future.
We'll see how many votes we get.
Yeah, we'll see.
You know. Well, I tell you what, people have said to me. I don't subscribe because I ain't getting no money. I went, there isn't no money involved. When he says like and subscribe, it just means that you'll have it come through, and for the sponsor.
Absolutely.
I says there's no money involved, but they think subscribe, which it does sound that way, doesn't it? So I think you ought to say this. When you say look at this, like and subscribe, there is no money involved on your part. I would put that in.
Yeah.
Because a lot of my friends, because they're tired.
Yeah. It's a fair point, John, because we're looking to get those subscribers up. So fair idea. Well, John, thanks very much again for coming along, and I'll be in touch. But absolutely fantastic, mate.
Thank you.
No problem.